welcome back to my DevLog series. This video is going to be a bit all over the place, just because I recorded these segments as I worked on things, so there will be segments that mention something that gets addressed in the next segment. But yeah, this is just a log of my work, so yeah, that's what I'm going with. Yeah, enjoy. Okay, for this section, I have improved the camera. You can probably see it if you watch the previous one. It now has a slight amount of lag to moving to make it feel a bit smoother. It's also not powered by a debug function. It is instead powered by a event, by a proper input action event, and it now collides with things, so I can't just like, whoop, I'm under the ground. Like, the camera is always in the physical world. This will need improving later, but for now, it's better. A close look at this, man. And yeah, I see you in the next section where I will have done something else. But okay, next update. Not much really to say at this bit. I need to do a lot of planning to like make sure I can actually I actually know what I'm doing. But yeah, I just moved the thingy over here, added a caution thing to make it easier to see, and simulate death, and poked around some other bits to kind of figure out how to improve areas. Nothing that you can see in game yet, but that is the current bit, and I'm going to move on to next soon. That's all for today. I'm going to go do a load of planning. So, I'll see you in the next section. Okay, there we go. Okay, for this bit, I have started work on moving over to actually using the attribute system in gameplay ability system to store my data for player attributes, health and stuff. So setting up some dummy UI that should be easy enough to plug in, should be written in such a way where I can just plug in the attribute. However, I can't test that right now because I can't remember how to do an attribute from scratch, and I don't have internet at the moment, so I can't look it up. Very frustrating, but yeah. So that is this next little update. Yeah. Next section in there, going back so I could look up how to actually handle attributes properly now. So we now have attributes not currently tied up to the actual health. It's its own health thing currently. I'm still working on getting that updating correctly. Because as you can see, I've got it set to 0 attack and defense. Doesn't really help with making that work. So currently I'll die at like half. But this system is now in place. And hopefully, like, if I hit her, this isn't using that system. Only this world damages. So we're gonna... That's my next plan. Ooh, there we go. That's my next plan, is just to get this working between two actors in the world. My sister, in the last bit, I mentioned that it should have just worked. It did kinda, but apparently your HUD is assigned after your character is assigned, or at least not consistently before. So I had to give it just a force update on top of the listening it was already doing, because just listening for porn changes wasn't working. So I had to do a force update, and then theoretically, if I changed pawn, then it would work again. I don't know how it would handle having multiple things listening, or if it would just kind of try and flip between the different ones. Currently, I have no plans on having more than one character you have access to at any given time, so it shouldn't be an issue. Like currently, my plan, you're just going to play Decima, right? Because it's the simplest way of doing it. So yeah, I should explain what the bars are. Red is health, as you can see. Yellow, goldy, terrible color is going to be stamina, because I want to put rolls and things like that. So things like swinging will take stamina. I just need to actually implement those. And blue will be mana, because I do want spells and effects to happen later. Like right now I have a gameplay effect that does this, that's supposed to be like a shield bubble, but currently not implemented correctly. Why it's over there and not attached to the player. But yeah. And then I still need to update that system as well. But yeah. I will be back on my next bit of work when I do more. Another update on my attributes currently. We now actually use the attribute system for your actual health. So in a moment I will be teleported back over there, and you will notice I don't actually reset your health when you die. I just haven't gotten around to that yet. But the events are fired and are actually handled by the game mode to make it easier for things to listen in that need to know when you die. Like if enemies need to respawn or whatever needs to happen on your death is being listened to by the game mode, because it's not really the player's responsibility to move that. At least I don't think so. Against other characters does work. This will take a moment. Currently, there are no iframes in the system. I really do need to implement iframes, but you can. She's flinching to it, and eventually she'll disappear, because she'll be destroyed. Eventually, it'll take a moment because I am doing 1 damage, and she has 100 health. So it'll take a moment. But once it does, there we go. Yee, it works. Yeah. That is all I'm doing for today in terms of the attributes. Okay, today I've been working on this very rudimentary dialogue system. Gave it a background, so it's not just floating text. We can now have yes or no options. I haven't implemented these as something you can click on, or as something you can have more than just yes or no. That is a thing I will work on later, is giving you more the ability to have more choices. But yes, I'll say one thing, and no, say another. It doesn't reset that value at any point. Yeah, that's what I've done today. That and a lot of trying to get the state tree that powers this to not have half a ton of unnecessary gets and things with passing in context. Thanks for listening to my devlog. Hopefully see you next week, when I'll have the next week of work I've done logged out. Yeah. See ya.